Miss Oxy. Are you the boss? Mr. Max? Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is still June 3rd. It is Thursday, 2021. I did not get a chance to stack any wood today because the weather decided to have the skies open up, and we had a big old rain here. So I was like, well, there's always tomorrow. So if you're looking at this, you're seeing what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be stacking wood, but that's okay. Anyway, I'm going to do a video here, and the opinions in this video are mine. And so this is an opinion piece, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on it and hear what you guys like to think, okay? So, the Great Awakening. The Great Awakening happened probably, in my opinion. I always talk, well, first of all, let me just say this. I always talk about in my videos, a lot of times, especially when I'm doing my live streams, I will say to people, we are the ones that are awake. Preppers and off-gridders. All right, we realize that something's not right, that we need to do something about it, so we're the ones that are awake. And I always talk about that. So we're going to talk about the Great Awakening and how that was a threat. And so the powers that be and the people that really run things, not the governments that we think run things, but the people behind the scenes that pull the strings of the governments, what happens. So we're going to talk about that. Probably a year, at least a year before the pandemic started, you had a lot of people around the world, all over the world, had had enough of their governments. Palestine, France, Hong Kong, the United States, a lot of different, and I'm just naming a few that I can think of off the top of my head, okay? And there was a lot of people protesting, and a lot of people saying, hey, you know, we've had enough. We've had enough of this complete and utter control in dictating what we can and cannot do. And then, you know, people were out in the streets, and they were like, that's it, we're not going to put up with it anymore. I'll tell you what, France has a very long history of overthrowing governments and getting rid of the governments that they don't like, and when people are doing things that they shouldn't be doing. And so I think what you saw was the start, the real true start of the average citizen waking up. Now, a lot of us have been awake for years. We're very, very aware that things are not sustainable. You know, when you look at different empires around the world, okay, that if you look at the history, generally around 240, 250 years, those empires start to crumble. And they never crumble and they never decay from outside. It's always from within, because people get complacent. They get comfortable. They get lazy. They think that this is going to go on forever and ever and ever because that's all they've ever known. That's all their family's ever known. So they don't have that struggle. They don't realize that things can change in a heartbeat, that everything is not always just going to stay the same. And so you have a lot of these things, they decayed and died from within through weakness. And that's what you're seeing right now happening in America, and that's my opinion, okay? You are seeing that decline. You are seeing the takeover of unscrupulous people that have no heart, that have no dignity, that have no true care about other people. They care only about themselves. And so I think we're going to see that decline happen. And when it happens, people are not ready for that. They're just not. They're not prepared to deal with hey! Look at that, yelling at his dogs again. That doesn't work. Don't yell at your dogs. Hella! Stop. So, Anyway, so that's so what happened was you saw this rising up of people, and people, the average citizen, saying, "Hey, something's wrong, something's not right," and so we want change, right? So one of the first things that did happen, you had in France, they rescinded a gas tax, if you guys remember that, because people were up in arms about this increase in his gas tank, and then they wanted the president out of there, okay? And they were really starting to push for that. Then, you had the situation over in Hong Kong where Hong Kong was saying, yeah, no, we don't want to, be ruled by China. We want our independence. And they were fighting back and saying that's it. We're not going to deal with this anymore. So what happens? All of a sudden, this pandemic comes out, and they enact total and complete control over everybody. And we just allowed it to happen. Like, oh, okay, yep, they know what's best for us. We need to be afraid. So they use fear, intimidation, scare tactics, threats and bullying with, well, if you don't comply, you can be arrested, and and then they will use propaganda. You know what I mean? You're not doing this for yourself. You're doing it for other people. You're thinking of other people. I could not tell you how many people, younger people, I have heard say, "Oh well, I got it because I wanted to make sure that I'm looking out for other people." Unbelievable, okay? But this is what has been happening, and they've used this to regain control and actually tighten control. Now, what happened with Hong Kong? Let's look at what happened with Hong Kong. So, partway into this pandemic, China went in there and said, "Yeah, you're done," and they arrested everybody that was giving them any kind of problems. And what did the rest of the world do? What did they do? Nothing, because we were too busy dealing with our own crap and trying to, you know, deal with this supposed pandemic. Again, opinion piece, guys, opinion piece, and that's what you saw happen. Okay, but I think what you are seeing daily now, a year later into this thing, you're seeing a lot of people realizing that there's been a lot of manipulation, a lot of lies, a lot of untruths being put out there, again, to take away our freedoms, to take away our rights. And I think people are realizing that that has happened and that we've been manipulated, and they're tired of it. And so that's what I see with the Great Awakening. You're seeing more and more preppers. I know channels like my own and other prepper channels have taken off and have done well because people are scared. They're concerned, and they should be. They absolutely should be. When you realize how truly fragile the system is and how quickly things can go south, and if you are not prepared and you are not ready for that, that's a scary, scary scenario. And I want to show you guys something. So Becky and Mom, and I just actually had one a moment ago before I started the video. Now these through here are all white radish. They already harvested the red radishes already. They harvested some more of the white radish, which I ate one, and they're absolutely delicious. The best part of this here is the fact that they came out of my garden, that we grew them with no pesticides, nothing like that, and they did fantastic. And that's probably the best feeling when it comes to doing these type of things. It's really just something that is absolutely awesome. And knowing that basically you're looking at 28 days, and you're going to have a crop that you can eat. And and then all these greens here, guys, guess what? All that can all go for the birds, and the birds will eat that, and they will have that whole cycle of things. Or you can take that and compost it down to end up making better soil. So all these things that you're doing to help yourselves, that's the way to do it. But I know, when I ate that radish tonight, I know where that radish came from. I know how it was grown, and so that's a very, very cool thing. And so like I said again, you've seen what we've done this year. We got a whole bunch of other plants in the greenhouse that are growing, and we're going to have a ton of tomatoes. I'll be giving more tomato plants away, but anyway, I want to hear your guys' feedback on this. What do you think? Do you think that the whole pandemic thing was done to regain control, to stop people from saying, I've had enough of the government stuff, and again, they've used, you will be arrested. You look what's going on in Canada right now, right? I mean, here we are in the United States, the numbers supposedly are going down. If they were ever as high as they were, the deaths are going down if they were ever as high as they were. Because, and they're using it, well, because people are getting vaccinated, right? So, I'll give you a great example of something, all right? So I had to stop at Walmart today, and when I was at Walmart, a lot more people are not wearing masks now, which was nice to see, actually, to be honest with you. A lot of the workers were not wearing masks. So I walked up to the one guy that was working there, and I said, oh, so they're finally letting you not have to wear a mask, huh? He said, well, if you've been fully vaccinated, you're allowed not to wear a mask. He goes, but it's funny. He said a lot of people, even though they've had both vaccinations, are still opting to wear a mask because, you can, he goes, because you can still get the virus even if you've been vaccinated. No kidding. Really? But yeah, it was a lot of people that were shopping that didn't have a mask on. And I'm sure a lot of them were people that have had it and, had both of them. And so now they're been given permission. And there's another thing I want you to think about, okay? They originally, if you were getting the vaccines, you still had to social distance. You still had to, wear a mask. So what they had to do, they had to dangle that carrot out there. And this is, again, opinion, okay? They had to dangle that carrot out there. There's no reason to get it, because if you didn't have to change any of the patterns and you didn't have any freedoms, why would you get it, right? But now, all of a sudden, everything changes. Remember how things change constantly. The narrative changes, what we can and cannot do changes. Now they say, well, now if you have been fully vaccinated, that you don't have to wear a mask anymore, and that you're okay and that you're protected. So they had to give them a little carrot, a little caveat, a reason to some incentive, other than trying to bribe everybody to do it. So I thought that was interesting as well. If you pay attention and if you look at things and you observe, you see the manipulation, you see how truly bad it is. And that, I'm telling you, my friends, should be the reason that motivates you to prepare. Just like, okay, having this wood brought in, all right? Just like having this wood brought in. That's a prep item, all right? I got enough wood in the woodshed. I could get through next winter. No problem. Get through next winter with no problem at all. But that's not prepping. That's not being prepared ahead. So I had this wood delivered. It will be stacked up this week in this woodshed. And look at all the scraps. I can't wait to get them all scooped up as well, to be honest with you. And but those will be that, like I said, that's a prep item. It puts me in a situation where I can be more comfortable and more ready for the next thing. If something else happens, then I'm ready for that as well. We have 4 face cord up here as well. I'm going to be stacking this as well. 3 of this face cord from here is going to be for the prepper get together. Okay, so I'm going to stack this up as well, and then I'm going to cover it until we have our get together. But I had them put that there separate, so then I'll just take one of the face cord out of here, and that will go in the woodshed as well. So I will have 9, and once I get 9 face cord in the woodshed, I'll know where I'm at and how much more I need. And if I need to have him bring me another 3 or 4 face cord of wood, I'm going to do that. So people were asking me, really quickly, I'll get into this, what it cost me a face cord, okay? Now for years, and I've been getting my wood from the same guy for a long time, he told me when he was delivering it, I was paying $60 a face cord, And so today when he came with the first load, I said, so are we still at 60 or where are we at? He says, unfortunately, because of fuel prices and everything else costing more money, I got to charge you 65 a face cord. The guy's decent and you know, really, really good guy. So I'm like, no, I totally get that. I mean, that's not some crazy excessive jump in the price. So I'm like, yeah, no, absolutely no problem. So I paid $65 a face cord. So for 12 face cord of wood, it was $780. So to me, that's a one-time bill. I have wood to burn for the entire winter with no issues whatsoever. Absolutely an investment like anything else, and of course then also it is not grid tied. This is something that I have and I can utilize that's going to last me, you know, throughout the entire winter and put me in a situation where I'm going to be ahead of the game. I won't, probably this wood you're seeing right here, guys, I probably will not burn any of this wood this year. So, and if I do, that's okay. I will still have wood left over, and whatever I have left over will go, you know, to next fall. So that's just it's just planning ahead. So anyway, really quickly, on my website, preppernurse1.com, I'm still doing my sale. The sale will be ending on June 6th. So if you are looking to add to your long-term food storage with freeze-dried food, go to my website, preppernurse1.com. You will click on store. It will drop down. You will see Legacy. Once you click on Legacy, it will take you to the store in the website. If you decide to make a purchase, when you check out, 20% will come off automatically, okay? GMO free, it is vegan, and there are meat options available with beef and chicken. There's gluten-free options as well available, and also it is a 25-year shelf life, and is largest portion size of any of the other freeze-dried food companies. You know, like I said, 20% is a nice savings, especially if you're buying a larger package. It can really add up and make a big difference. So I try to do those savings for you guys periodically here. And so, but the sale will be ending on the 6th at midnight, West Coast time. All right. So anyway, I am going to jump off of here now, guys. I know this video ends up being longer. I have a tendency to be long-winded, but it was some thoughts I wanted to share with you. Want to definitely hear your feedback on this, and I want to hear what you guys have to say. Somebody said, I remember in a comment, they were like, oh, he probably doesn't read these comments anyway. And I replied to that comment, and I go, I read all the comments. I don't have the time, the hours that it would take me to reply to all the comments, but I still do read all the comments, and I will occasionally reply to a comment. But just letting you guys know, so I do read them, okay? So I'm not just trying to blow smoke up your behinds. I think that rain's coming again. I'm starting to feel some more sprinkles, and they said it was going to be doing that, so that's all right, whatever. Anyway, I hope everybody is having a good day. I hope your week is going well. Remember, we are all in this together. We are one race called the human race, which I think is very, very important. Miss Soxy, there's the boss. Also remember, guys, to hug and kiss the ones you love. There's Miss Molly. She was right up under my feet a moment ago. Tell the people that you care about every single day how you feel. Last but not least, STD. Step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only person that will stop you from reaching those goals is you. That's it. Nobody else can stop you. Stay positive, stay away from the negativity, and you're going to be just fine. All right? I will see you guys all later. I hope everybody has a great day. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.